I don't want to miss anything for the. This is a Patreon exclusive, mind you, Britt.
No free game.
No free game. No, what we did was you could pay $1 and get everything you want. You could pay $10 and you could get like discounts, and if somebody has paid $10 to the Black Rasslin Patreon and they're a fan, like really down for the cause, it might work out well for them in the near future.
Yeah.
I wanted to. It's good to have Britt Waters back in the building. Like we were just saying before I pressed record, it's been a minute since you. It's been a minute since you've done anything. It's been a minute
Anything.
since. Why? Why has it been a minute since you've done anything?
So everyone's like, "Oh, you disappeared. You disappeared." I got like a job on top of my other 3 jobs.
Right.
So I wake up at 2 a.m. Monday through Friday to be a news lady in DC. And I also am an NBA host. So I'm at the arena by 4 p.m. and then I host till the end of the game, which is like 10. So I sleep like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Right.
And I try to get a nap in the afternoon. So I really just don't have the time. And the only time I used to do any podcast or anything would be about wrestling. I'm like,
right.
Where do I watch wrestling?
That's nuts. Actually, let me act like I've been here before. Where has Britt Waters been? I'm just trying to make sure that people understand what's going on. So, it was funny because I remember when we had you on many moons ago. You were with the WNBA at that time, and you were doing the radio.
Yes, I'm still on the radio. I'm on Sirius XM. I host the Thumb 20 Countdown Tuesday through Friday.
Do you do that from home, or do you still have to go to the studio?
I do that from home. Thank God. I do that from home.
That's good.
I love radio, so I don't want to give it up. I love television, so I don't want to give it up. I love the NBA, so I don't want to give it up.
Right.
So the only thing I could give up is the thing that wasn't paying me, which happened to be wrestling TikTok.
No, that makes sense.
Back.
Well, actually, yeah, I do want to say, because you mentioned loving TV, has being a personality on a morning television show been the dream for you, or is that just something that happened?
It was something that happened. I think it was my dream like 20 years ago, but I've evolved working in the entertainment space, but it just kind of happened and I've fallen in love with it. Being a daytime TV host is like surreal. Sometimes I forget.
That's crazy. No, it's not. It's actually, I imagine, because again, you've been in the game for a minute, but what was the increase, on your timeline? I'm assuming there were the Who is Britt Waters pages out there. Like, what was, do you even pay attention to that nonsense?
Of course. You don't stop Googling yourself till like you hit like crazy level.
No, right.
Like I Google myself to laugh because it's like so wrong. It's like offensively wrong. I'm like, ew. It says I'm like 5'5", which is so rude, and like 38 years old. I'm like, what?
Where? Is that wait? What's the worst? What's the worst? I'm assuming you would like to keep some things private, and I don't want to open up the can of worms too much. But like, is there one lie in particular, just like that is like totally the most far off thing?
Besides my height, my age, and that I was born in Canada, which is trending, none of that's true.
I saw the Canada thing. I thought that was funny.
You saw that? I'm like, from Jersey.
I thought that was funny. Again,
you actually know me.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I know this is not true at all. Again, I know I can understand like again, if it's something that just happened, it's not like there's a track for people to follow in regards to the moves that you made. You kind of just, especially for DC, you just are on people's TVs every day.
It's hilarious, but I think what's crazy is that people don't understand wrestling. They like really don't understand wrestling. Right. So they see something and they're like, "Oh, so you used to do MMA?" I'm like, "What?"
What? They've never had WWE on the morning show before?
We have, like, on our lifestyle side. Of course, I mean, since I've been there.
I've seen.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
You know me. Anytime I have a platform, I'm going to put wrestling on it, especially independent Black wrestlers. So that's what we've been doing regularly.
Right.
But That don't mean people understand.
No, not at all. Well, it's again, but I don't know about you, but as I've grown up, and I've noticed it now because I've been home for 2+ years with the quarantine. I've always just like turned on ABC and watched from like whenever I got up until maybe like 2-ish, depending on if like when my grandmother's alive, the stories would be on, so we would watch
Uh-huh.
whatever story she would watch. But like I'm Tamron Hall
Yeah.
and Kelly and Ryan. I watch them all the time, but the it's funny to see you be able to do your thing the way I see like Alicia Vitarelli at 6ABC be able to take the junket and just ride. She's doing red carpets for the
Yep.
Oscars. I can only imagine what you'll be doing. But again, that doesn't even have to be with Good Morning. But
Thank
it
you.
please you're grinded. We said it. I don't even, we said it. It's like we're not going to be able to get Britt Waters again. I'm glad you're here. But it's one of those things where I don't want to stop anybody's grind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I miss this though. I miss
Yeah.
you guys. You guys always hold me down so well, whether it's like the merch side or just having conversations or sharing stuff or it just makes me feel like home. If I wear a black wrestling hat to a Wizards game and then
I
people
was going to
ask
say
me about it, I get to talk. Yeah. Like
you, you
then
you got the exclusive. After I was a 101. This is a 101 right now. I don't. Again, if you're on the Patreon, you may see these soon. But she's got the hard Wizards colorway. That one's real nice. That one's real nice.
I hosted a game in that, and so many people asked me about y'all, and it just gave me an opportunity to talk about y'all platform and everything you do, and people were just like, "Wow!" And it just made me excited. I really miss it.
Right.
I'm back though. I'm back.
Well, I do want to say because we were talking about how your coworkers, I guess, react to what you do. Did I grab a picture? Homegirl, what is the blonde woman? I'm sorry, what's her name?
Eileen and Kid.
Yeah, I like Eileen. I was every now and again when she's reacting to you just talking about the stuff we know about because we follow what's on the timeline.
Yeah.
But that's what you shared. Oh my gosh! All right, I have to play the clip.
Okay.
I have to play the clip. I have the full clip, but then all right. What I did was I have the full clip, and then I chopped up just like a couple of sections, just because there were some things that I wanted to point out. I saw a couple of people referring to. So
Okay.
the other day on Instagram, you shared this clip. All right, all right. So you when did the Glizzy giveaway at the Wizards game happen?
So it's our last game of the season.
Right.
Fan appreciation night. We want to give the fans anything they could ever want. My boss is super down. She's basically like, we trust you guys. Do whatever you want. We're
Right.
going to throw glizzies to the crowd. And it's a very DC term. It's a very DC thing. And everybody's hungry at games.
Right.
She's like, I trust you. Do what you want. So I hit my homegirl Marlo, who's on the game press team. And I was like, do you want to eat a hot dog on camera? Like, what would happen? And she's like, I mean, she said, do what you want. So we literally ate a hot dog on camera and threw glizzies to the crowd. And that became the Glizzy giveaway. We've done it one time all season.
So you're just chucking, like, I'm assuming they're wrapped up in
Yes,
bags.
they're wrapped, they're taped. And like the whole team was throwing them out. Players were throwing them. Like, it was crazy.
Because I remember, was it during quarantine? Glizzy, just the term Glizzy, it just became a thing for some. But because I do want to point out, because you mentioned that it's a DC. Is that you first heard it in DC?
So I first heard it in DC, and I know calling a glizzy a hot dog is a very DMV thing. But
Right.
like you said, during quarantine, I think like little millennials caught on to people are calling, glizzies, well, which originated from the term like referring to a Glock.
Right.
Calling hot dogs glizzy in DC. So they made like glizzy TikTok, and it's weird stuff like little kids burying hot dogs, throwing them at each other, like glizzy gardens. It's just like wild on TikTok now.
But so who had? Because I can only imagine again. the way you've been able to maneuver in the social game, and because you have a really good understanding of the timeline, and the key thing for people who are taking notes is taking that and being able to apply it in real life, whether it's making a shirt or throwing glizzies at a crowd at a game. But it was just, do you want to, it was literally just, I want to throw some hot dogs at the crowd. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, we've been trying to incorporate DC culture with basketball more and more and more. And we've done that so well this season, dedicating a game to the music scene, right, honoring Chucky Thompson, like having a bunch of local artists be a part of it. Local designers make a lot of our team branded merch. Like everything is super into the culture. Mm-hmm. And I felt like, DC calls hot dogs glizzies. Every NBA game you go to, you can buy a hot dog. So why would we refer to it as a hot dog? Glizzies. The boss green lighted it. She made it happen. And I took it a step further by eating a hot dog on camera. Cause why not?
But you know what's going to happen. Well, all right, actually, let me stop myself.
I've been named already.
Well, all right, let's, this is what Britt is referring to. So all right, I because I've watched the clip. What I do is when there's a viral clip, I kind of just like try and understand what's going on. Because I have no context. I'm on Instagram and I see Britt Waters shouting out the end of the season. Here's this crazy thing that we did. I'm assuming because you guys really touch hot dogs.
No, they're already wrapped.
Okay. So is that how you eat hot dogs?
What do you mean, like in tinfoil?
No.
You're freezing. Hold on.
I'm sorry. A lot of the time, people like it. If this is the hot dog, they'll like go like you had you. It was like you were smoking a cigarette. It looked like the way you held the hot dog.
And there's a reason for that.
Okay.
So I was like holding a microphone, and when you're hosting, you do it like with your right hand.
Right.
So eating or doing anything with the opposite hand, it was just very awkward. Okay. And after I bit the hot dog, I was like, I have to then say, who wants a glizzy? Do you want a glizzy? So I'm like, I potentially have to yell after taking a bite of a glizzy. I cannot believe I am breaking this down on Patreon. Like they are getting their money's worth today.
Yes, pay the 1 or pay the 10.
You have to yell after taking a bite of a glizzy. It's like, yo, you have to think about these things. You're going to hold it awkwardly. You're not really going to take a good bite because I could do better than that.
Wait, so I guess I'm assuming that you said it went very well. So this is not the end of glizzies at the Wizards games next season. I'm not saying it's going to be a full like campaign, but at the very least next you need like a table, a pedestal, something to put some water.
I'm hoping that we still continue to throw glizzies at the crowd.
Well, again, like I don't free idea, like this National Hot Dog Day. What you need a sponsor.
Yes.
And you need like a limited.
We need a mascot, someone to come out in a big suit. Are you volunteering?
I live in New Jersey. I cannot rep. I cannot. Well, I guess the question is, how much does that pay?
I'm saying, if you were in a hot dog costume, would anyone be able to ID you?
What would I have to do in said costume?
Probably some sort of dancing and throwing hot dogs.
I'll throw hot dogs.
Okay.
And then I'll just go. I don't need like. Can I be the Stone Cold mascot or something like that? Is there some way to make it where I can just like beat somebody up and then go sit in the corner and then throw out like I don't know.
A violent glizzy? Is that on TikTok already?
If it's not, we need to put it on there, right? I mean,
hashtag violent glizzy. You just made it.
Let's go. Did I have any more? All right, so yeah, we figured. Thank you for breaking down glizzies. I appreciate that. I'm gonna take it now. You mentioned not being able to do a lot of pro wrestling stuff, but you're back. I wanted to talk because the last time we had you on the podcast, I remember you were big AEW, and it's been a minute, and a lot of things have changed. So where are you at with AEW? Right, April 2022. Where are you at right now?
Oh, that's a loaded question. It's because my way of consuming wrestling has changed so much. I didn't even watch Mania live. I was hosting the Final Four, which was an amazing experience, but it was so crazy. I actually called Saul Kazim out there. I was like, please talk wrestling with me because I'm losing my mind. So I have been more so when I have free time attending indie shows. And that has kind of almost changed the way I consume wrestling, what I like about wrestling. And it makes me more of a fan of that, which changes the way I see AEW because of its effect on the indie circuit and how it's changed. Also working for a company who formerly owned Ring of Honor, consuming so much Ring of Honor and seeing how Ring of Honor has changed now that it's with AEW. It's weird. And seeing the person who made me fall in love with AEW, Cody Rhodes, now a WWE guy. Like, there are a lot of things. I used to say, for the least, if you guys aren't giving AEW a chance just because they have like a black female chief brand officer. But you know, that's not there anymore.
Right, right.
So
it's the landscape is entirely changed. Yeah, it's nuts. No,
yes,
it's nuts.
Yes.
You know. But you said you haven't even watched Mania yet.
My DMs.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, he said Ricky Starks doesn't respond to my DMs, so that also puts a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, he had a good.
No one catches it.
He had a good match on Dynamite the other night. Him and Hobbs and.
I know. I heard.
It's good, but shouts out to indie wrestling love. Who? What are some of your favorite shows you've been to recently?
Oh my goodness. I've been just random shows in any city that I'm in. I went somewhere random in New Orleans and I wish I could shout it out. Of course, all of the DC shows I'm always at, which all of you guys, well, you actually weren't there. Where were you?
I was right here in Jersey. Actually, I was starting the damn Patreon and home. You know, I already wasn't planning on attending. There was I knew I was going to be busy, but then like things changed in life, and I was home, and actually I got some good content out of it, so I'm not complaining, but it looked like it was a lot of fun.
We had like 50 Black wrestling content creators, maybe more.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You were missed.
It's yeah. I'm hopefully LA, you know, hopefully like COVID is, you know, not still, because I mean I was looking on the TV today, it's peaking, you know what I mean? It's a big numbers bigger than they were in January. And I'm skeptical about, you know, what's going on out in the world right now.
It's crazy. Protect yourself, because wrestling clearly will always be there. We've learned that. No fans, some fans, it ain't going nowhere.
So you haven't seen me. So I will say the Cody. I mean, because it's not going to be a surprise to you, but the pop when Cody enters Mania is that's an interesting one. It's an interesting one.
I've seen Mania. Of course, I've seen it. I just couldn't watch it.
Oh, I thought you. My fault. I thought you said you hadn't seen it. So you didn't. You being an AEW fan and seeing Cody come out as the AEW Cody Rhodes, you didn't feel anything?
Was I supposed to be mad?
No, you shouldn't be mad. You shouldn't be mad.
For me, in AEW, even though I felt like he was the face of the organization, he was always a mid-carder. So, and it's not even shade. That's not even shade.
It's not.
Like, come on. He was a mid-carder, and that's not what he is going to be in WWE. So the pop was different, and it just felt right. Because as much as we want to see people win in certain spaces, nostalgia will always get to us. I run into that all the time. I've been in DC for 10 years. People like, I watch you on TV all the time, but I miss you when you were doing radio at night. I'm like, let me live, you know? So I think that moment makes people feel a way. I think when Jericho eventually returns, it's going to be just, it's a way. Seeing Sting come back on TNT, it just felt, you stop with the faces.
Wait, you said you think Jericho is going to return to WWE?
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
You don't think so?
I mean, I'm not tracking what I'm not even thought about where his future was going to be to think about it. I'm not that I'd be surprised, but the way he's been. He talks about WWE a lot, but he's always talking mess. He's never like. I mean, for as much as
he's always talking mess, but like you can tell Vince doesn't care. I mean, when Stone Cold was talking about asking Vince to have Jericho and Broken Skull, it was just like vibe. It was just like the prodigal son. It was like, okay, yeah, right. Of course. So I don't think he can say anything that would ruin his chances of coming back. I think they'll always bring him back. It's just a matter of when and how. Even if it's like just what Stone Cold did at Mania, just a one-off, like you're coming back home. This is what needs to happen. A moment that he missed. So, but I don't know.
See, I don't know. People be wanting these moments. I don't care. I'm just like I'm over it at this point. I seen it.
Yeah.
Let me see.
But I have not seen Cody like this.
Right.
I can't say I've seen this because he was playing games when I watched him in WWE. You know, he didn't come back as Stardust.
Right. Right. 100%. He was ready. And it's based off of the promo that he cut at Raw the night after Mania. At some point, he's gunning for whoever's got that title that his daddy was holding. That the lineage is going down, so there is a main event for him. But like I said with the entrance, I'm like, this is great. You know, I felt it. You know, I understand, but then you have to watch him wrestle, and you got to watch him wrestle. I don't. He's not improved enough.
I think he has more space to improve enough here because of who he will be wrestling with. I don't think that he was going to learn or improve or reach his highest standards, even with some people that I love in AEW. I don't think Darby was going to give him the match of his life. I don't think, like, come on. Like,
no.
But do I think that a Seth Rollins type match would improve him, would help him show off some things, like would be something that could grow him, would give us something memorable wrestling wise? Because a lot of the moments for me that I remember of Cody have nothing to do with wrestling. So maybe him being in spaces with people his age, his size, his experience level, or that he respects enough to realize that they can put him over. I don't think anyone in AEW could have put Cody over.
No.
They can in WWE.
Yeah, I will say because they're still only doing the wrestling that we see on TV, right? They're not doing house shows or anything, right?
I don't think so. Not
yet. I will say whenever the time is right for Cody to get that main event match, hopefully him. Is he going to be working house shows? Is he going to be doing loops? Because I would imagine him doing main event style WWE matches night in, night out on the road. Hopefully can help him advance for when it's time to get those pay-per-view looks, those meaningful pay-per-view looks for these title matches. But I don't know. I'm just watching TV.
Yeah. And I like what it did for AEW as well. I feel like that was just like a looming thing. Like, oh, your guy is on the mid card. Oh, you didn't have your Cody match yet. Oh, because what I love about AEW mostly is the people that I fell in love with because I didn't know them before AEW. I didn't know who Sammy Guevara was. Like, I didn't even know MJF. I mean, I see these old tapes, but he was never on my radar. No. A lot of those people, and those are the people that I like the most. I don't really want it to be all former WWE guys. And guess what? Cody was even if he was the EVP, he was going to be a former WWE guy.
Right. At some point, that's what it always boils down to. Damn.
Who do you want to see him face?
Who do I want to see Cody face? I mean, I've become a bigger Roman Reigns fan than I'd even realize I would be. At this point in life, I'm waiting for the night that I want to see Roman beat him up and then be talking to the camera, just I'll ship him back to Tony or whatever, whatever he's gonna say, that's my favorite stuff. So him being able to demolish Cody, because I don't know if he's the guy. It feels like Roman's still waiting for the person to knock him down.
The Rock?
They're gonna have a match. I'm ready for the match.
Which they teased on the dang sitcom.
That's what I heard. I gotta watch.
I didn't
see
know
the clip.
that their age difference was so big.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that, because The Rock looks eternally 25.
But he's I don't know. You have to go through. If you go on Wikipedia and go through the family tree, you see how it is. And
we know the internet lies, because I am definitely not anywhere near 40, and I hate that I'm not from Canada.
Yeah, what's this Canadian doing repping the Wizards? Nah, but I guess that's why he's chilling with the Usos. They all roughly the same age, right?
Yeah, they played football together. So
nuts. Well, Britt, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I don't know what you do after you demolish TV in the morning. I imagine there's some type of I interviewed Rosenberg once during the day, and I know at some point there's a hardcore nap that's going to be happening, unless you already took it.
I mean, I don't even know what to do. I've been out of the season not even a week yet, so I'm so used to a strict schedule of television, 2 a.m. to noon, come home, eat, prep for the game, do everything, and then arena. So yeah, maybe I'll actually eat a vegetable.
Yeah, get a salad, get a nice salad, but have a
Maybe I'll binge some Black Rasslin YouTube.
There's a lot of nastiness. So, no, I'm just kidding. No, it's been a lot of fun. There's been I did live recaps after both nights of Mania. We've been going live every Thursday, 8:35 p.m. YouTube.com/Black Rasslin. I do not have my.
I catch the replays. I should be asleep then.
No, it's fine. A view is a view is a view. And hey, hopefully it still holds up. Some stuff is funny in the moment, but as long as you can watch it and enjoy it afterwards, that's cool.
I love it. I love to enjoy it. Yeah.
I before we get out of here, Britt, can you just shout out where people can find you socially, find you on the TV, internet, wherever? Where can people find Britt Waters?
All my socials are at It's Britt Waters, ITSBRITT Waters. It's all my socials, and yes, I will be making a TikTok return this summer.
Okay.
Yay!
There you go.
And of course, you can watch Good Morning Washington weekdays at 10 a.m. on ABC 7 News. In DC, Maryland, Virginia, we're right between Kelly and Ryan in The View. So if you're a fan of daytime television, you can watch that. I'm at every Wizards game on Sirius XM, Channel 3, Tuesday through Friday. And I do morning news, 4:30 in the morning on Channel 7 as well. So vibe with me.
Your show is in between Kelly and The View. That's what Taryn Hall occupies that spot on 6 ABC. So
yeah, because my family lives in South Jersey. So yeah, she streams. My mom streams it unless Taryn has something good on. Then she'll tell me, Taryn's got a good segment on. I'm not going to see you today. I'm like, all right, Mom.
Yeah, I'm not gonna front, Britt, and hopefully, because Taryn Hall to me, she's number one right now. It's who else could get all a new edition for an hour and then have them just perform at the end? You know what I'm saying?
I'm obsessed with Tamron. I was at one of her first 5 shows in New York City. My mentor is her best friend. So I've been to Tamron shows. She's been on Good Morning Washington. it's amazing. And to see someone from a news and broadcasting background hold down that spot in such a way that's like informative, but also entertaining, because every other TV daytime host is someone singer, influencer. So I feel like Tamron's always going to be my number one.
Love it, love it. Hopefully, must continue success, Tamron. You don't know me from a can of paint, but you know I enjoy your TV. Again, Britt, thank you for coming through. Really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Oh, no doubt. It's been a lot of fun. Again, patreon.com/Black Rasslin. Pay the 1, pay the 10. You get to see exclusive content like our conversation.
And let me say this.
What's up?
This is the only time and the only place that I will ever again discuss how I eat a hot dog.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I love getting exclusive. You guys, it's behind a paywall. I don't normally do that, but you know, we're doing that this time. Britt, thank you. We are out. Black Rasslin.
Bye.